We're going to talk about YouTube today. So YouTube has a lot of things that it can bring to the table in terms of getting good quality video content out to the world for your business, for your channel, for your hobbies. It doesn't matter what it is. But what are the things that you need for elements wise in order to make sure that your video is optimized the best for this platform? There are several things, and it's not as simple as just uploading a TikTok video and adding some hashtags, adding a little bit of effects with the music track behind it. There are some very key things that a lot of people miss out on when it comes to YouTube content. Now, if you haven't noticed, am building up my YouTube right now. I'm going really hard at it at this point. It's something I've wanted to do, and we're finally making that happen. But what I've been doing for the past several years is building other people's YouTube channels, right? So this is where I've been able to have the credibility and the authority to be able to talk about this topic because I've seen what works and what doesn't with other platforms. So there are a few things, and I want to talk about them kind of down the line as you move forward with getting a video produced, getting it into the actual parking lot for YouTube to schedule it out, and then moving it along to actually getting it published. So when it comes down to it, obviously I'm not going to talk about the entire video shooting part of it. You know, you want to have good visuals, make sure you have a good background behind you, make sure you've got good audio, good video, that kind of thing. That's very important. But there are some other things on the back end that you want to make sure you do. So in post-production, what I would make sure of is that you add some form of an intro for you, a very short thing. You don't want to have like 30 seconds. You don't want it to be 15, 20 seconds. You want it to be very short and to the point, but kind of taking place after you've given a little context about what the video is for the actual episode that you're putting out, right? So for instance, for this video, I would say, hey guys, this video is about YouTube and what elements you need to actually get good YouTube videos out. Boom, intro video, and then we get into the meat. So I'm giving you a little bit of a hook of what's gonna be going on in the video, then a short intro just to keep the attention up, and then you're moving along. As you go along through the video, something that I see a lot of really popular YouTubers do that I do here as well is I actually have my video editor go in and do what's called zoom in, zoom outs. These are jump cuts that happen where, you know, in between spacing, when maybe I'm in between a thought or I mess up or something like that, my video editor is going to zoom in on my face and then he's gonna zoom out. And that is a really good way to keep people's attention so that it keeps the eyes busy as opposed to them just looking at one frame in a talking head for 8 minutes. That's just can be very challenging to actually do that. That's why a lot of people throw effects and stuff like that on the videos, and that absolutely works. Just takes a lot more time and finesse to do that. So that's something that's very, very key on the front end. Now let's talk about the uploading process, right? So now you're gonna be getting into the metadata, all the stuff that you need to put on the back end. The number one thing that you need after you have done the video production and uploaded it to YouTube. So now it's you've clicked the upload button, you've selected the video, and it's now in the process of uploading. What's next? Thumbnail. Thumbnail is a really big piece of this, guys. You absolutely have to have a good eye-catching thumbnail. Now I'm not gonna go super deep into this because there's tons of videos out there on how to create good thumbnails and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna tell you from what I've seen, a face on the thumbnail with a pose and some very, very good text that gives a very deep context of what you're talking about in the video, but also leaves kind of a cliffhanger effect to it. That will be what ultimately draws people in. A lot of people will say you need bright colors and stuff like that. I think you just need contrasting colors. For instance, you're not gonna put on a black background a blue text because that's gonna be very hard to see and eye-catching no matter how bright that blue text is. So you just wanna make sure you have something contrasting. So if you have a black background, maybe use yellow or white, something that's gonna pop off of that background behind the text. So make sure you do that. Do not make the text lengthy inside the thumbnail, and then maybe add a few effects here and there and you'll be good to go. So don't overcomplicate it, but it is something that is very important. You have to focus on, make sure you get something good in there. And then on top of that, you wanna make sure that the title is very relevant to the thumbnail and the video, of course. You don't want it to be clickbaity, you want it to be something that is SEO driven. So I was actually talking to a person the other day about this, and the thumbnail and title are those are the first two things that people see when they're looking for a video on YouTube. One of them is visual, one of them is for SEO purposes and actual marketing, right? So obviously the title is going to be be what is SEO driven, and it's going to tell people what the video is about, but the thumbnail is what catches people's attention. Most people will look at the thumbnail before they look at the title. Even though the title is what's being searched, they'll see the thumbnail and like, oh, this looks relevant, look at title is relevant, let's watch this video. So that's the process of what happens. So make sure that you do focus on the title, create something that's very keyword specific, very catchy, but also plays in with your thumbnail. And a good idea would be to tell a story between the thumbnail and the title. So focus on that. Next would obviously be the description. The description is a key component in this. You want to make sure it's very keyword rich, almost like a show notes type of feel to it, and make sure that plays heavily with the title and with the thumbnail. Now, obviously on YouTube, you do have a limit of what amount of characters you can use. Don't know exactly what that number is, but you do have a limit. So make sure that that description is as descriptive as possible about the video, but also make it keyword rich and heavy. Take the opportunity to do that. Then inside of that description box, you're also going to be putting links. Now, typically what I've heard from people that are successful at doing this is 10 links is kind of the number that you want to shoot for. Somewhere between 7 and 10 links that are relevant to either a lot of people will put their social media platforms on there, so their Instagram handle directly linked to that. They'll also put their website on there, maybe a newsletter that you could sign up for, a bunch of other things that really play into your stuff, your services, your packages, stuff like that, your products. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. But another really good idea is if you have affiliate offers as well, make sure you're linking those inside of it. And then inside the video, the ideal thing to do would be to, if you reference a specific tool or something on another video that you've shot or somebody else's video, link that video or that tool in your description as well. Take that opportunity to say, hey, make sure you go check out the link down in the description. I have that link down to Trello.com for you to be able to go check that out. Since I'm talking about it now. And then have that link down in the description, and that's how people will roll out. So links are definitely important. Make sure it's to credible websites, places that's actually gonna help you rank in that scenario as well. Next, as you go along the lines, it would kind of be playlists would be the next thing. Now, playlists are something that are very important in YouTube. You definitely wanna have those loaded up into your actual YouTube channel. Create as many playlists as you can that are very contextual to what your audiences are looking for. So for me, I have playlists about social media marketing, I have playlists about video content marketing, and then just straight content marketing. And then I do have a playlist called the REI Marketing Weekly, which is for my podcast video to go there. So create very, very good playlists, throw relevant videos inside that playlist, and you'll be good to go there. Very simple, very easy to do. Now, there's a bunch of other things you could do. Obviously, captions is something that you want to do. YouTube does a very good job of having auto captions on. Just go ahead and do yourself a favor, turn that on. There are a lot of theories, not really proven, that YouTube will actually scrape those captions for SEO purposes. But whether they do or not, it's still really good to have those captions enabled, because unlike if you're gonna put captions on an Instagram video, people can actually turn on and off the captions on a YouTube video. So just have that option available for people. Just go ahead and auto turn that on. Next thing would be tags. Now, there are a certain amount of tags that you can add to a YouTube video. What I would tell you is add as many as you can. Max that thing out, because that is your opportunity to tag relevant keywords and phrases to the video, to the description, to the title, because YouTube plays that and ties everything in together and says, is this credible for the viewer? And the tags is really the last thing that you're gonna add that's gonna bring everything together. Going on to that next page, once you hit next, you're gonna see a thing that says end screens and cards. Cards are things that pop up in the middle of a video. So if I say, go check out this video, and I point my finger right here, there's gonna be a little eye that comes out, and it's gonna be a little banner that comes up and says, watch this video, or suggested video. Typically, I put 3 of those throughout the video, and if I do talk about another video and relate to that, then I'll make sure I put that in there. But then that's just something that's gonna help with keeping people in the loop with what you're doing. Ideally, I would say don't put it in within the first minute of your video, within the first 10 to 20% of your video, because you don't wanna drag people away from what they're currently watching right off the bat. I would say get at least 1 minute to 2 minutes in your video before you actually put those cards strategically through there. And then on the same lines, the end screen. The end screen is the last 20 seconds of a YouTube video. YouTube allows you to embed relevant videos, your videos, another channel, and then a subscribe button there that you can actually put, and sometimes in some scenarios, approved links can actually go in there as well. So if you ever watch a YouTube video and then the last 20 seconds pops up and there's what's called an end card, it's just an image that has like very well placed, like subscribe here or check out this video, that kind of thing. You'll see it on my video when we get to the end here. But that's something you definitely want to play into. Even if you don't create an end card, you definitely want to put those, that end screen elements inside of that. And I think you need at least 3 of them in order to be able to do that. So just place typically suggested videos, best video for the viewer, and then subscribe button is what I place on there. Outside of that, there's a few things here and there you can do, but those are definitely the most important ones. So make sure you focus on that. If you have any questions, there's a bunch of links down in the description below to connect with me. So make sure you do check those out, including a 1-hour consultation that you could schedule. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully that brought you some value. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.